So our contributor and former FBI agent Richard Frankel joins me now as we're learning more about this shooting. Rich, Minnesota investigators say they have now been barred from taking part in the investigation into this. We know that the FBI is leading the investigation. What are your thoughts?
I'm actually a little surprised by that. Not the fact that the FBI is leading the investigation. We've done many of these investigations in the past. I did them when FBI and other DOJ agencies were involved in shootings. So we would do internal or shooting investigations. But also, whenever our agents were involved in shootings, NYPD was involved. The New York State AG might be involved. The fact that the FBI and the feds are investigating this does not bar a local state agency or prosecutor's office from doing their own investigation. They may not have the same access to the ICE agent to interview and to get some of the forensic information, but they can definitely, using videos, using witnesses, through subpoena power, they can do an investigation. So again, I'm a little bit surprised how the local authorities have stepped off this investigation.
So investigators they're going to go through all the video evidence that is now coming out, including all the different angles that we've seen of this shooting. I do want to show some viewpoints here and get your reaction, but I also want to warn viewers that this can be a bit disturbing. So let's go ahead and start with the first video. Okay, now I want to show you a different angle, which the administration says clearly shows that the woman was hitting the agent. Now here's some of that video slowed down. Richard, what do you see?
So I see that actually there's a first agent who goes up to the car and puts his hand on the vehicle, and is telling her either to stop or to get out. And I forget what he actually says, but you can see he's touching the vehicle, and then the vehicle starts moving while he is touching it. And then the second agent is the one that pulls his weapon out. He's standing a little bit in front of the vehicle, and the vehicle is coming at him and then veers off a little to the right once the shooting begins. So that the agent who is involved in the shooting, he actually pulls his gun out when she starts to move the vehicle, and that other agent is holding on. Now, there's going to be a lot of review of what we've just seen and a lot of discussions with the ICE agents. But what was that agent thinking, both subjectively and objectively, at that time when the driver started to drive away? When you had a agent holding onto the car and could have been dragged, and also the car was coming at him. Did that agent have time to jump out of the way so that he would not be struck? Did that agent see that other agent was being pulled, and that's why he fired the weapon, because he's allowed to not only protect himself, but protect other agents? Or was there something else going on in his mind? And it's really going to come down to those milliseconds or seconds of what happened immediately before the shooting and what happened during the shooting. And then the final thing I'll say, and I've only heard things about this on other newscasts, is that the agent who is involved in the shooting, the actual shooting agent, he might have been involved in another case where somebody was dragged and injured. And if that's, in fact, something that happened to him, that also goes to his state of mind as to why he would react the way he did in the amount of time that he had to react. So all of that's going to go into the assessment that's going to be made as to whether this agent acted within the scope of his duties, was basically protecting himself or other agents from serious physical harm or death.
Got it. Richard Frankel, appreciate you just going through the video and giving us more perspective from your experience. Thank you.